Hey guys, it's Donald the Solo RPG Guy here. Mythic Game Master Emulator, 2nd edition. If you've been around the solo role-playing community of any length, you've heard of Mythic, the Game Master Emulator. It originally came out in 2003. Now here we are 2 decades later, and after 2 decades of feedback and playtesting, it has been updated. It is brought to you by Tana Pigeon, George Munez, and Melody Jakes. Tana was kind enough to send me this review copy for free. However, it will not affect my judgment at all. And I can tell you that even if I wasn't given a copy for review purposes, I would have bought it anyway. So with that being said, let's get on with the review. Now, when I posted this product's release in the Solo RPG Facebook group, one of the first questions we got was, okay, what's the difference between the 2nd edition and the 1st edition? And this review is probably going to focus on those differences. Like I said, if you've been around the solo RPG community for any length of time, you've heard of Mythic, most of you know how it works. A lot of YouTube channels have gone over it in much detail. Trevor DeVal over at Me, Myself, and Die has actually used this product in his YouTube videos, especially Season 1. So there's a lot of information out there about how Mythic works. So I'm going to concentrate mostly on what is different. We will fast forward. As you can see here, first let me let you have a glance here at the table of contents. Now we're going to jump ahead to what's changed. You may be familiar with the 1st edition of Mythic GM Master Emulator and wondering what has changed. Well, while the rules have been completely rewritten, most of the core components of Mythic are the same, while much has been added or refined. And here's a summary of the biggest changes. And we are going to go through these changes one by one. First change is the fate chart. Odds have been slightly simplified, and some of their titles changed to hopefully give more intuitive feel for deciding odds as you play. The table itself has been redesigned to also make it more intuitive, and some of the percentages have been lowered to add a more uncertainty to fate question answers. Here you go. Here's your first look at the new fate chart. As you can see under the odds, the wording has been changed so it's more clearer. There are 9 different sets of odds as compared to the original 11. The chaos factor is still there. However, you can see here on this chart it's reversed. It starts off at chaos factor 1 and ascends to chaos factor 9, where the original chart started at chaos factor 9 and descended to chaos factor 1. Next up is the fate check. This mechanic was brought in from Mythic Variations 2 and has been refined to make it feel more like the fate chart. Now here is your chart for the fate check. Now the fate check works exactly the same as on the fate chart. The only difference is here, instead of rolling a percentile die, you're still going to roll 2d10, but you're going to add the number together. And then you're going to add this roll modifier based on the odds. And then you're also going to add a roll modifier based on the chaos factor. And then compare it against this chart to get your exceptional yeses, your yes, your no, your exceptional no. And as always, if you still roll doubles and the digit is lower than your chaos factor or less, you get your random event. Next up, we have the random event focus table. The focus table now has a new addition to it called the current context. The D100 roll values have also been slightly rebalanced. Let's go take a look at that. Now here is our random event focus table, and as you can see, it's pretty much the same as it was before, although the percentile values might have been changed. But now they've added down here current context. Well, what exactly is current context? Well, let's move forward here and get to that point, which talks about current context. Here it is. Whatever is happening in the scene right now becomes the focus for this event. If the random event was generated from a fate question, then use the context of the fate question as the focus. If the random event was triggered as a scene interrupt, then the event is directly related to whatever is currently going on in your adventure. A random event with a focus of current context takes whatever is going on and adds a new layer to it. And as always, she's always providing examples. So here's the example. The player's gunslinger PC bursts into a barn, expecting to find the bandit he's been pursuing. The player asks the fate question, is he in here? Mythic comes back with a no, and the random event. And the random event focus table comes back with current context. The player thought this might be the big moment in the adventure, capturing the bandit, but they were wrong. The unexpected letdown is the context right now, and this random event will have something to do with that. Depending on the event meaning generated, maybe the PC finds a taunting message scrawled on the wall, or discovers a bedroll in the corner indicating the bandit had been here but has now moved on. So that is one of the changes made in the random event focus table. All right, now we're going to move on to the next subject. All right, moving on next, we got choices. The Mythic Game Master Emulator 2nd Edition gives more power to a player's choices. You'll find rules pertaining to choices throughout the book. For instance, choosing an event focus instead of rolling it as an option. Choosing your event focus. There are circumstances in an adventure where choosing the event focus may make more sense than rolling it. For example, in the above, and she references the above example. I'm not going to go into the above example. I'll just give you some personal examples. There'll be many times I will get a NPC action or an NPC negative or NPC positive, and I have no NPC on the field. It's just my solo PC or, my group of PCs. There is no NPC. So obviously an NPC action or an NPC negative or positive, it makes completely no sense. There are also other times when you'll get that close a thread option. And a lot of times the thread has either just been opened or the thread itself is the main thread, the main reason why you're on adventure. And literally the second time you ask a fate question, you get close the thread. Well, that was a short adventure. So sometimes it doesn't make sense. So I'm sure that has happened to a lot of you before, and you were probably already either choosing or you were ignoring the results and moving on. Well, now she's specifically telling you it's okay to choose the result if choosing the result makes more sense. And on this list, she gives you reasons why you might want to choose one of these event focuses as opposed to rolling them. So that's good information to have. Next up, we're going to talk about lists. There is more direction on how to handle lists in a defined way. Lists are also weighted, with elements able to appear on the list more than once. This makes threads and characters lists more dynamic. Now here's where she starts talking about the list. A couple of things she talks about doing is using the list as random tables. As I will show down here on this sample form here under adventure list, we obviously have our threads, which are the plot threads for your adventure, and then we have our character lists on this side. And of course, characters aren't just limited to characters. The PCs, they can be NPCs, they can be places, they could be any items of importance would all go on this list. And as you can see, they are numbered, where you can roll a D2 if you wanted something up in this section. Once you get this area filled up, you roll a D4, D6, D8, and it goes all the way up to a D10. And that on both sides of the stick there for both your threads and your character lists. Next up, we're going to take a quick look at the meaning tables. Some of the words in the action and description meaning tables have been changed to make their meanings more clear. Now, if you're familiar with Mythic, you are very familiar with these actions and description tables. They have been changed. Some of the wordings have been changed, so they're a little more clearer. And then as you get down here past descriptions, you also have a couple of element tables. These are words related to locations, characters, and objects. Now, if you're like me, and I know I am, when you're using Mythic and you rolled on these action description tables, every once in a while you got something that was meaningless or you couldn't interpret well for whatever it is you're doing contextually in your adventure. sometimes it would help if these element tables were there for locations, characters, and objects. So now you have literally more meaningful tables for your meaning tables. And these will get expanded later on in the book. And when I get to those, I will show you. Now, to the elements meaning tables, in addition to the action and description meaning tables, there are 45 elements meaning tables that are more specifically themed. This gives you more option to choose a meaning table that is more relevant to your current context. And that also kind of connects down here to discovering meaning, referred to as complex questions from Mythic Variations. Discovering a meaning is about generating adventure details by rolling on a meaning table. This takes a greater significance in the second edition with the wider range of meaning tables. And let's go take a look at those real quick, because that right there is the bread and butter. That alone will be worth buying this product for. Once you see it, you'll see why. In addition to the previous action and description charts, you also have 45 element meaning tables at a glance. Everything from adventure tone, alien species, animal actions, army descriptors, cavern descriptors, character actions in combat, character actions general, character's appearance, background, conversations, excuse me, descriptors, identity, motivations, character personality, character skills, character traits. So literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 charts just for characters. There's your NPC emulator right there, as well as descriptors for, city and forest and various locations, legends and gods. Let's just go take a look at a couple of them. Here is the chart for army descriptors, cavern descriptors, and characters. And as you can see, they're all with D100 charts. They will give you more keywords to work with. So let's just make a sample character here. Let's go with character 24. 24, he's a defiant character. Let's move on to, let's see, general. Let's go with 73. 73, opposed. So we have a defiant character who's opposing something. Well, that makes sense. What's his appearance? Appearance is 62. Oh, he looks natural. He looks normal. Okay, he's a normal-looking guy who's opposing something and is defiant. And then you just keep on going with background, what he wants to talk about, other descriptors, his identity, motivations, and such. Personality lists. That right there will keep you busy for a while. All right, let's move on. And then, of course, the last section here about options. There are a lot of options throughout 2nd edition. More ways for you to customize your Mythic experience. These run a wide gamut, from choosing how you want to start and end scenes, to mechanics like keyed scenes to guide your adventure. That right there in itself can be a very, very, very long video. So we're just going to scroll back up to the table of contents and show you those variations that she's talking about. Getting prepared for a solo adventure, determining your NPC statistics, the table itself, getting the most out of source books, the thread progress track. The thread progress track is very similar to the progress track you will find in Ironsworn. Discovery fate questions, the thread discovery check, diversifying threads, resolving character knowledge versus player knowledge, a chart for that. Conclusive adventuring conclusions, and a way to choose your chaos flavor. There is a mid-chaos fate chart. It's similar to the original fate chart, although it's just not as wild. I'll show you that when we here shortly. But basically, it just kind of thins down the chaos factor just a little. Same is true for the lower chaos fate chart. It just takes it and knocks it down just a little bit. And then, of course, you have the absolute no chaos fate chart. What is a session in solo play? Controlling your adventures with keyed scenes, the record sheet for the keyed scenes, using Mythic with prepared adventures, the adventure feature list, the prepared adventure focus table, handling complicated campaigns, peril points, using the adventure crafter with Mythic, and using the craft and Mythic with the table, and then where to get some more support. Let's go ahead and just take a look here what I mean by this chaos chart here. Let's see. Boom. Choose your chaos flavor. There you go. It's just a smaller, thinner chart where the chaos factor doesn't progress or regress as fast. As you can see here down at the bottom, it takes 2 steps to kind of move through this area here and this area here. And then, of course, if you just want to use the fate check, you got that list here. And when you go further on down, you got the same thing for a low chaos fate chart. Then you have the no chaos fate chart. And the no chaos fate chart is the fate chart where your chaos factor is stuck at 5. So you have those options if that's something that appeals to you. Now, some other good things about the book here. Besides your wall of text where she, explains to you what's going on, most of which is followed by an example, so it gives you an idea. And also along the side here, well, you got some flow charts. How to ask fate questions. You follow your expectation. Should this expectation be tested? If no, follow your expectations. If yes, you ask the question, you determine the odds, you roll on the fate chart or make a fate check to determine your answer, you interpret the results, and then you continue with the adventure, rinse and repeat. Flowcharts like that are scattered throughout the book. You will also find boxed sections that give you even more advice. Let's just take a look. Like for here's a chart that, example odds, giving you an example of, what you might want to choose as your odds. See right there, as your chaos factor starts at 5, that's normal, but as you go higher, you get more yes answers, more random events, more unexpected scenes. The lower your chaos factor, the more no answers, the fewer random events, and the more expected scenes. And like I said, charts like that are scattered throughout the book, very helpful in helping you understand the material. Now, once you've read through the book, and you've got the examples, you had all those flow charts. When you get to the end of the book, starting on page 187, you get the rule summary. And it's literally the summary of how the Game Master emulator system works, giving you bullet points, making it simple and easy to find. Once you've read through the book once, you won't be flipping through the whole book anymore. You can just come straight to the back where you get everything written and explained to you in simple to easy to read bullet form. And then once you get through all that, all the charts that you can need, your journal, boom, your adventure list, boom, the fate chart, boom, boom, fate question answers. If you're doing the fate check, there's that chart. Just print that out. Fate questions is RPG rules, random event focus table. Everything is not, and it's not, as you can see, it's not cluttered. You get a chart on each page, basically. There's all those great element charts, character conversations, character descriptors. So all the charts you need are in one easy place. NPC behavior table, statistics table, need, again, help you more flesh out your NPCs. Boom. Simple and easy. The thread progress chart. Discovery and thread discovery checks. And like I said, once you read that chapter, it's real simple. They'll walk you through it. She does a great job of explaining everything, as always. The mid-chaos and no-chaos fate charts. Same thing if you want to just do the fate checks. Boom. Yep, that's the keyed scene, which we didn't go over, but it's easy. Your features list for prepared adventures. The focus table for that. Using Adventure Crafter with Mythic. If you like Mythic, I recommend you also get the Adventure Crafter. Play any RPG solo with or without a Game Master. Boom. And there you go. There is your overview of the Mythic Game Master Emulator 2nd Edition. I believe it's currently on sale in PDF form at DriveThruRPG at $14.95. The link will be down below. And according to what I've researched so far, if you want a print-on-demand version, that should be available in about a month. And there's also a possibility that she will send it out again in card form, much like they did the first edition. So with that, I hope this review was helpful. If you have any questions or anything, please put them in the comments below. And until my next video, happy gaming.